So what we're going to do to start out with today is go through the frequently made mistakes that I observed when I reviewed assignment 3A submissions yesterday, and make sure that you address these in time for assignment 3B's final submission, which we'll talk about shortly. First of all, make sure that you are commenting all your code thoroughly. Most people are doing this, which is great. A few people just aren't commenting the code, so I don't know why. I've said this over and over again. So code that is not commented will not be reviewed, so you'll just have to ferret out whether you made other mistakes by watching this video. So let's take a look at some issues with crawl page. So first, this is a chronic problem that continues. Please make sure that you format and comment your code consistently. What does that mean? That means it should look like this with a comment here. So it's consistent and it's commented. That isn't really consistent. Second, please make sure that you combine calls to filter, multiple calls to filter, to a single call to filter with a composite conditional expression. Pretty straightforward thing to do, just reduces the amount of extra work that's being done unnecessarily. Something almost everybody's doing now, which is great. Thank you very much for noticing this and fixing it before your initial submission. Make sure that you use a method reference here instead of a lambda expression. This is something that should be caught or identified by the IDE, by IntelliJ or Android Studio, and it'll actually fix it for you. And also make sure that you filter out any missing pages that are null by using filter with non-null. Moving down to process page, again, make sure that you format and comment your code consistently like this as opposed to like that. And please try to get in the habit of using the ternary expression instead of an if-else statement. There's just so much extra ceremony that's going on with the if-else statement. You have to put the curly braces, you have to put return. It's a statement, not an expression, so it's just a bit more cumbersome and verbose. It's not wrong, just more cumbersome and verbose. Here's another thing. Please make sure that when you format your code, when you use a ternary expression, you format it so it doesn't run off the right-hand side of the page. Again, very annoying when you're trying to review code and read code if it looks like that. This is much easier to read. And of course, this also allows you to properly comment the code by doing things like this. So again, just get in the habit of writing code that's legible. It's very easy to do. It's much easier to write legible code, honestly, in the long run than to write illegible code. So just get in the habit of doing it, and you'll thank me years later after you write a lot more code. Here, make sure that you pass in the appropriate method reference since this isn't actually downloading anything. And of course, again here, please format and comment your code consistently. Now let's take a look at transform image. There's a number of things that are going wrong here. And I was a little bit concerned because a lot of people seem to be making exactly the same mistake in very weird ways. And so I want to remind everybody that the work you do has to be your own. Do not copy people's work, especially do not copy people's erroneous work. So once again, minor point, make sure that you comment and format your code consistently here. As we've been talking about before, this should look like this with a comment, but that's not really the key point here. The key points are, first, there's a step missing altogether. And if you go back and look at your earlier solutions, and if you look at the sequential loops crawler, which is kind of the solution that you could start with as a gold standard, you'll see that there's something missing here. So fix that. And then I don't know what the heck's going on here, but we'll see that there's a couple different mistakes. This is one form of the mistake people are making. This does not have to be done this way. It's too complicated. Make sure to filter out any null pages. Then down here, this is actually another thing I saw that was troubling. Once again, there was a call to filter non-null. No earthly idea what that is doing there. That does not need to be there, but a lot of people were doing it. And then down here, a lot of people were also doing the same weird, incorrect implementation where they're applying the transform and then creating a new cache item. I don't know what's going on, but again, go back and look at your earlier solutions. Go back and look at the gold standard solution, which is the Java 7 solution with sequential loops crawler. There's things that need to go in the right order. So I don't know why so many people were doing it all exactly the same way incorrectly, but please make sure you're not sharing your bad solutions with other people because it looks suspicious. So those are the things that I saw. As a general rule, not that much stuff to fix. So you'll get a chance to improve this when you submit assignment 3B, but please make sure you address those things and make sure that you follow the proper rules of documenting your code and submitting the form properly. There's still a few people who didn't do that, but most people are, so thank you very much. That's great. So that's the end of the walkthrough of the frequently made mistakes for everybody's review that I have evaluated thus far.